chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. This is your homegirl, Barbosa, the BT 1000. 914, Westchester County, New York. We coming to you with another live video. And I really don't give a fuck live right now. I really don't care because I have something on my mind, something on my heart that I do want to talk about. And as you can see the title, it says rich people will always wiggle their way out of trouble. They always find a way how to, I guess, get over the obstacles of certain aspects of life. See, they don't go through any of the pains or suffering or any of the trauma that the everyday working Joe and Jane goes through. Rich people will always get out of trouble. Rich people don't have to worry about how to pay their bills or how to pay their rent or how to pay their mortgage. Because a lot of them, they got generational wealth. They got generational wealth. This thing with King, T.I.'s son, T.I. and Tiny's son, it's an everyday occurrence in America. It's an everyday occurrence. That's why the little boy does not care about getting caught up with the charges he got caught up with. He doesn't give a fuck about getting in trouble or nothing like that because he knows that his parents will always have his back. His parents will always have his back. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows this. Stevie Wonder can see what I'm saying. Ray Charles, if he was living right now, he would be able to see what I'm saying. People that have common sense would be able to know exactly what I'm saying. Rich people always wiggle their way out of fucking trouble. Now, I don't know if King has been in trouble before these charges that he's on, the current charges and the charges he just recently got on. Whatever the charges were, he's not in jail. His parents made sure they was able to get him out. They was able to pay whatever money they had to pay to get him the fuck out of the fucking jail. Even if he do go in front of a judge on the charges that he has, all of them, he's not going to see no jail time. If anything, he will probably get probation or house arrest or probably both. They're not going to have that little boy in nobody's facility. Anything happens to that little boy, somebody is going to have to answer for that. And people do not want to be bothered with that. They see him as a liability. They do not see him as a paycheck. They do not see him as a coin bag. They know better. As long as he has his mother and father to speak up for him, he don't have nothing to worry about. But the everyday working Joe and Jane, me and you, and all these young people that don't come from money, that wasn't born with a silver spoon in their fucking mouth, they got everything to worry about if the police ever stop them for anything. If they ever get charged with anything. You know what I mean? Word. So if you got money, you're going to be able to wiggle your way out of the bullshit. Rich children don't never end up going into foster care or going into the juvenile facilities. They never go anywhere. But the everyday working Joe and Jane children, they go places. If we get out of line, if we get out of pocket, they got places where they can put us. They got places where they can fucking put us. Half of these celebrities or celebrity children, they don't go to jail. A lot of times these people end up going to rehab, or these people end up going into somebody's mental hospital. Nobody talks about that. And they got places for them to go. And they're not going to these rundown places. They're not going to these rundown facilities. They're not going to where there's no money flowing in the facilities from other celebrated people. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. It's really I keep hearing all over the YouTubes and on the news about what kind of trouble King is in. I don't give a fuck what kind of trouble he's in. I don't give a damn about King. I don't give a damn about his mother. I don't give a damn about his father. I don't give a damn about this fucking situation. The man come from fucking money. His parents got money. His parents got influence. His parents got power. That's what happens when you're a puppet. When you're a puppet for certain people. That's all celebrities are, puppets. Celebrated puppets. People that are being used by the machine, by the industries to do their job. And they're doing their job by entertaining us. They're doing their job by distracting us. People don't seem to see that. I see it very clear. I see it very clear. Ben seen it years ago. Years ago. I don't mean no harm. I love my homegirl, Lisa Lopez from TLC. I love me some Lisa Lopez from TLC. She got the same blood running in her veins that I got in mine. Cape Verdean. Our people came from the Cape Verdean Islands. Shout out to the chat, Cape Verde. But let me tell you something. When she burned down that mansion a few years ago, when she got into it with her boyfriend and burned down his mansion a few years ago, where did they send her? She was charged with arson, but where did they send her? Because she didn't go to nobody's prison. She didn't go to nobody's prison. Where did she go? She went to rehab. What happened? She ended up doing her time in rehab, paying whatever restitution she had to pay, or perhaps being on probation. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. I don't have nothing against Lisa Lopez. I love Lisa Lopez. Left Eye. Shout out to her. Rest in power. Rest in power, my sister. But the truth is the truth. The woman had money. The woman had some type of influence. People were using her. She wasn't useful if she would have ended up in prison. She wouldn't have been useful. Not at all. Look at Little Kim a couple of years ago. Didn't she go down for perjury? Did she go to a state institution? No, she went to a federal institution. And the feds are way different from a state penitentiary. Let's be real. Let's be real. Let's tell the truth. Tell the truth and shame the devil. Half of these celebrities, when they do some bullshit, They don't do much time. Even if they do get locked up. Even if they do get locked up, once they get out of the situation that they are in, once they get out of jail or get out of prison or get out of that rehab or get out of that mental hospital, they don't have to do anything else. And nobody reminds them of their past sins. But the everyday working Joe and Jane, me and you, we will be reminded of our wrongdoings, of our crimes, of our sins, our shortcomings. We will be reminded. My crime that I did prison time happened over 30 years ago. Over 30 years ago. You know, society still reminds me I will never be free from that, even though I don't carry the inmate number with me on my chest or on my clothing or on my jackets or on my coats. Because when you go into the penitentiary, they stamp your number on your coats, on your jackets, on your shirts. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. At least that's what they did when I was there. I don't know what they do now. I don't know what they do now. But I remember my inmate number, 221644. I did my time back in what? 1995 all the way to 2001. 6 years, 7 months. And I'm reminded of it every day I walk out of this fucking door. Every day I walk out of this fucking door. I'm reminded. They're not going to ever let you forget. You will never live it down. I don't care if you can vote. I don't care if you can get a passport and leave the fucking country. There's certain things that you're not allowed to do, even though you paid your debt to society. The rich man will always get over. It's the working man that's a sucker. Every day that me and you walk out of our house, we go to a job, we punch in, we sign the clock, we sign the paper, we put our name down, we take in the safety classes. Every time we go to a job, we're being played as suckers. We are suckers. The working man is a sucker. You work all week long. Some of you work all week long. Some of you work more than 40 hours a fucking week. How much money do you really bring home? And most of your money goes to paying for something that is actually free. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. And that's my opinion. That's my opinion. We're going to see who's in the chat. And what's up, Wrath? Mrs. Eve. Miss Eve, what's up, Miss Eve? Good to see you. Just Jay, what's going on? Yeah. Yeah, all facts. Because I don't mean no harm. I love me some Sister T. I love Sister T. And Sister T did a video today talking about that King dude, the little spoiled dude that is the son of Tiny and T.I. And then I seen some other YouTube creators doing videos about him, got him all in the thumbnail. This boy is all in the camera talking big hella shit. Talking about he don't care about this, he don't care about that. You know why he don't care? Because his parents are going to wiggle his little ass out of the trouble that he's fucking in. I got a cousin, right? I got a cousin that's related to me on my father's side. She listens to some of my videos, and she told me not too long ago, she said, Arabia, I can't really sit through all your videos because you curse too much. She said I curse way too much. But I feel like I'm expressing myself, but she does come in and hit the like button and she listens and then she leaves. A lot of my family members do that. Because they know what I'm saying is fucking true. Nobody has come on the YouTubes or nowhere else and try to rebuke me. Nobody has said, well, Arabia, I don't think they know better. They know better. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube street. So basically, only thing I'm doing for this channel is working on my editing skills and trying to entertain people with visuals of what I see that be happening on some of these panels. Today, Anthony went live. So I got some things on my short videos talking about Anthony, TJ, and some other situations that I felt that needed to be talked about. But I don't do the talking. I let the artwork do the talking. I let the AI do the talking. I let the editing do the talking now. I don't have to really talk as much as I used to. Shout out to Just Jay. Just Jay, you got me editing. And I love it. Shout out to Moonlight for sharing it. She saw one of my videos and she shared it. Shout out to all the other YouTube creators that love those videos. And they give me feedback. Shout out to the feedback. I really appreciate it. Yeah. So yeah, man. That's the only thing I have to say. I'm not going to be up here much longer. I don't know who's live right now, but I don't have nothing to do with that. I'm not trying to be funny or nothing, but where the hell is Lonnie? Lonnie has not been going live lately. Now I've been seeing Lonnie in some of these chats, but I don't remember her hitting the live button or the StreamYards going live. I hope everything is well. Because I do remember the last video that she did. It was right after she did an exercise video that morning, and she was thanking some of us that came in support her while she was doing her exercises in the gym. So shout out to Empress Lonnie One Love. Yeah. I just haven't seen her doing any videos. I'd be seeing her in some of the chats, but that's not the same as Lonnie going live. See, I'm tell you something about me. When my people don't go live, I start looking. I start asking questions. I noticed that Lonnie hasn't been going live. I noticed when Just Jay didn't go live. I know when Miss V don't go live. I know when my people go live and when they don't go live. And when they don't go live, I'd be like, maybe they taking a little break or whatever the case may be. Or maybe something came up. You can't be on here every day. I don't expect anyone to be here every day. But when you've been here for years and years and years, and people are so used to you going live, yeah, we want you to go to live. I don't care if she turns on the camera and sings la 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 for the next 30 minutes, a whole hour. Go live. Hit that live button. Hit it because you can. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. Hey, Mrs. V, what's up? Yeah, shout out to my moderators that's in the chat. Yeah. I know everybody been busy the last couple of days, these last couple of weeks. I'm not gonna lie to you. These last couple of weeks have been really something. And I'm talking about way before my birthday even started happening. I noticed there was a lot of things going on. Not so much on the YouTubes, but in real life. You know what I mean? Word. So yeah, it is what it is. And that's basically the only thing I have to say. And there's another thing I want to say, right? Because there is a big difference between people that have money and people that don't have money. Because I'm gonna tell you something. I did something very simple today when I wanted to get something to eat. I went and got me some bread, some macaroni, and some chicken, right? So I remember making, a little meal, cutting up the bread, eating the bread, enjoying my life. And then I thought about it. You know what I thought about? I said to myself, rich people don't eat this type of food. They don't. How many rich people do you know actually eat sandwiches? I know there's one particular dude that I know of that come from money. He was raised up in a well-to-do house. The man has never eaten a sandwich. There's certain foods that we eat that they do not consume. They would not think about consuming. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. Because I was like looking at a YouTube video and they was talking about what the slaves were made to eat because the slave master and the overseers really didn't want to give them anything to eat. They just wanted them to work 24/7. They didn't want them to eat. They didn't want them to rest. They didn't want to bathe. Oh, there was a lot of shit our ancestors went through. Shout out to, and I'm not, when I say ancestors, I'm talking about your grandparents' grandparent. And in most cases, your grandparents' parents. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. Yeah, that's right. I'm saying it. I'm saying it. But yeah, rich people, they don't eat pig feet. They don't eat they don't eat pig ears. They don't eat pigtails. Me personally, I don't eat none of that shit. But I know a lot of people that do. And I asked them what it tastes like, and they like, oh, it tastes good. I'm like, no, it don't look good. It don't look good. It don't smell good. I don't want it. I don't even eat grits. I knew grits was, considered slave food. Yeah, I have an older sister, right? I have an older sister, and my older sister, right, the oldest one, she's way older than Sister T, Moonlight, and Queen Regina. See, those women, they're in their young 60s. They're just beginning in their 60s. My sister is way older than them. My oldest one. I wasn't raised in the same house with her, but I was raised in the family that raised me. And I believe she's like way up there. Either late 70s, early 80s now. Shout out to the chat. Hold on, wait a minute. If I'm 53, she got me by 20, I want to say 22, 23 years. So she's in her 70s. She's in her 70s. And I remember her always using the term slave food. She would not buy watermelon. She would not buy Kool-Aid. She would not eat fried chicken. She wouldn't even fix fried chicken. You better not come nowhere near her with no pig feet, because she called certain things slave food. Not because she was rich or being high society or something. I understood why she thought the way she thought and why she felt the way she felt. Trust me, I understood. I understood very well. I understood very well. And believe it or not, she passed that stuff down to her children. Now, I don't think her children really practice it like the way she did, but I do know that that was a big thing. That was like her big Instagram. She didn't like anything dealing with soul food. She didn't. She didn't. And I don't really remember, like when I was living with her and when she was in Cincinnati, Ohio, because she used to work for Procter & Gamble, I don't remember her buying certain types of foods. I don't. I can honestly say. I can honestly say. I never really thought about it too much until I got older. And I started having to cook for myself. So I was like, well, I don't want to eat X, Y. I don't eat oatmeal. I don't eat grits. I don't eat none of that other shit I just mentioned. Now, I do love my little snack cakes and I do love my little coffees and I do love my little donuts and I do love my candies. I do have a sweet tooth. I do have that. Shout out to the chat, shout out to the YouTube streets. But I just, when I was eating what I was eating today, I was like, rich people don't eat this shit. This is considered pig slop to them. You know what I mean? Word. Like some people love hamburgers, they love French fries, they love tater tots. Rich people don't eat that. No, they don't. There's a dude on the YouTubes. He does a lot of videos where he goes and he, visits different restaurants and eats the food and do reviews on them. And he's been doing a lot of the recipes that Chef Ramsay's got in his cookbook. And I said, I looked, and the man was just measuring the things out and cutting things up and putting the olive oil in the pan and frying it up or putting stuff in the oven. And he made a cheesecake one time. I said, wait a minute. And he said he was doing all the recipes that was in that book that Chef Ramsay's had wrote. He said he gonna do that for 90 days. He's only on day 27. I think today was day 27 for him. Shout out to that young man. I forget his name. He got a high top fade, a beard. You guys know who I'm talking about. He be sitting in his car eating up all that beautiful food. But the recipes he be showing is not the recipes of everyday working Joe and Jane. And this is the big divide between rich and poor. Rich people don't worry about their bills being paid. When a rich person goes into a shopping mall or any kind of store, they don't even look at the price tag. I bet me and you look at the price tag. I bet me and you look at how much the things cost and we're adding it up in our mind. I can go in a grocery store right now and buy me certain things and I'll be able to tally it up in my mind how much all this is cost before I even get to the register. If it's $10, I know it's $10. If it's $23, I know that. If it's $30, I know that. Rich people don't do that. I be looking at my mail. I be looking for the bills to come in. Rich people don't do that. I be thinking about how to cut corners and not pay for certain things in a big quantity. Rich people don't do that. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. They don't have the same worries and concerns that we have. So I don't give a fuck if King go to jail. I don't give a fuck if they lock him up. I don't give a fuck about him, and I don't give a fuck about his goddamn family. Anybody that got money, we don't need to worry about. For real, because don't none of them give a fuck about us. And that's real. That's my opinion. So we got Mrs. V in the building. We got Rapt in the building. We got Hot Billy in the building. We got Miss Eve in the building. We got Just Jay in the building. And we got Black P Stone in the building. What's up, Black P Stone? Good to see you. Shout out to you. Yeah. So, yeah, man. Rich people don't give a fuck about us, and we shouldn't give a fuck about them. They make all the money off of us and off of all our suffering. Trust me. For everything where people are institutionalized, someone is making money. If you get sick, if you get diabetes, if you have heart problems, if you have asthma problems, someone is being paid from your suffering. If you have any kind of mental illness, someone is being paid because you are suffering. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. Yeah. Now, people can agree to disagree with me, but that's the way it really is. There is a big divide between us and them, and it will always be that way. Always. I don't even know who the middle class are. I believe, like, when my sister was younger, she was working for Procter & Gamble. I believe she was actually middle class because of the neighborhood that she lived in, the house that she lived in, the car she drove, the clothes she wore. She was middle class. She had something. She lived on a budget. But I remember her always saying she would be so happy to retire. She didn't know the older she got that her eyesight was going to leave. She didn't know. She had to relearn everything all over again. She had to start using her other senses. And there was no need for nobody to say, well, I wonder how, baby girl got blind and lost her sight. It's hereditary. Because she had an aunt that was blind as well. And they have to use their other senses. And she does very well. She used her hearing very well. She counts the steps. Like if I want to leave out of this bedroom, I know I can just walk to the door and walk right on out of here and walk out of here. But she counts how many steps it takes her to get to the door, how many steps it takes to get into the hallway, how many steps it takes to get to the bathroom, which side of the bathroom is at, where is it actually located. She knows how to use it's certain things about her hearing that is excellent. You can't whisper around her. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. And she does very well. She don't even live with nobody. A blind woman doesn't live with nobody. When her husband died, she never remarried. That's how a lot of the women in my family do. Once that partner dies or they get divorced or what, the women never marry again. They might date every now and then, but it don't turn into nothing serious. Shout out to Sergeant Crystal Reagan for teaching everyone the lesson. Yeah. But I'm not going to get too much deeper. I'm just going to get out of here. But I want to shout out to everyone that went live this morning, today, this afternoon. Shout out to Johnny Blaze. Shout out to Anthony, went live. Shout out to all the other YouTube creators that I'm recently subscribed to that went live today. Shout out to them. Shout out to Sis. He getting ready to go live early in the morning. I think 6 o'clock in the morning. Shout out to him. And it is what it is. And I'm out. I want to thank everyone for coming in. I want to thank everyone for hitting that like button. I want to thank everyone that Tippity typed into the chat. Thank you for Tippity typing. Like, share, hit the Cash App. All right, I'm out of here. Peace. Moderators, thank you for coming in. Bless up. Thank you for coming in and moderating. Bless up. Good evening, everybody. See y'all in the morning. Or should I say tomorrow? Sometime. Peace. One.